Greetings, everyone. We're moving on to Chapter 7. I'm doing 2 lectures in one night. Woo! I got big aspirations. I wanted you to see my baby. Come here, Mac Daddy. Come here. Come see these. This is Mama's boy. This is one of the dogs that you'll hear fighting every now and then in my lectures. He's my little pit bull, and I am crazy about this boy. And so I just thought you might want to see my my little boy. And yeah, it kind of looks like me. Look at my hair sticking up, and look at his ears. So anyway, that's him. He's a sweet guy, and you'll hear him and my little chihuahua fighting in the background every now and then. And so he sees himself in the video, and I wonder what he's gonna do. He may try to eat the computer. You see? You see yourself, Mac Daddy? Oh, he's mean. And here comes the chihuahua. Okay, so I'm sorry, I didn't mean for that to happen. I just kind of wanted you to see who I am referring to sometimes about as the dogs fighting in the background. Okay, Chapter 7, here we go. That's kind of funny. So you guys know I'm human, right? Okay, so this chapter is about assessment and learning. And I'm going to concentrate on the assessment portion and the learning outcomes and how they're tied together. One of the things that I wanted to talk to you about is a book that I got in my master's program, and let's see if I can get you a really good view of this book. Okay, this book is called Understanding by Design, and the authors, oh, that's not a very good picture. Okay, the authors are Wiggins, yeah, you can't see it, okay, right there, Grant Wiggins, and J. McTee. And so if you ever get an opportunity to read a really good book about designing courses, teaching, and how they fall together and fit together with assessment, that's an excellent book. It's a wonderful resource. I've used it time and time again. I am an instructional designer for NMSU Carlsbad. And so this is my little spiel about design and how it ties into assessment. So what these authors are saying, Wiggins and McTee, what they say about design and teaching is that in order to create assessments and courses and units and lessons and lesson plans and blah, 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 it all starts with a backwards design. So what they say is that you have to start by asking a question: what do you want your students to understand from a lesson or unit of instruction? And so when I begin to design a course that I teach, or when I help other instructors build a course, the first thing I do is establish what they want, what understanding do they want their students to achieve? What is it that you want to get as an outcome? And so Wiggins and McTee tell us that a deliberate and focused instructional design requires us as teachers and curriculum writers to make an important shift in our thinking. Instead of thinking about what we as the teacher will do or provide in teaching and the learning activities that need to be completed, we need to focus first on the desired learning results. What is the learning result we want from this activity? So what we should be doing as teachers is to identify the desired result we want from the learning, determine the acceptable evidence to prove the learning, which is the assessment and evaluation, and then the learning experience or activities for that instruction to apply to the learning situation. And so I hope that gives you a little bit more idea about design. One more thing that I want to leave you with for this chapter, this is going to be short and sweet, is that you need to know the difference between assessment and evaluation. It took me a little while to get this because I was not in the K through 12 system, and I teach at the college system. When we talk about outcomes, course objectives is what we talk about. And so about 3 or 4 years ago, it finally dawned on me in my master's work what the difference is. And so this is how I articulate it. I hope it helps some of you. Assessment refers to the broad process of collecting data from a variety of sources about what individuals have learned. Okay, so you take a variety of things that you've measured with, that you've used to evaluate students, or like quizzes, exams, portfolios, writing samples and stuff like that, and you collect this data in a variety of ways, of what students have used to learn with. Evaluation is what you do by making a judgment about the data that gathered and what that data means. Okay, and so many times you will hear educators refer to assessment as testing, and yes, testing is included as a measurement instrument, but assessment is not the overall, and testing is not the overall and end to assessment. Okay, and when you evaluate, you make judgment on that. And so it was very difficult for me to get a conceptual framework of this until just not recently, it was a couple of years ago. But once I did, it helped me in the way that I design courses, in the way that I teach my own course, and in the way that once I figured it out, I had to do some major reconstructing in the course that I was teaching at the time, because what I was assessing, what I was testing students on, and the way that I was getting a measurement of what they were learning was different than the outcomes that I had originally. It didn't give me the outcomes that I wanted, the learning outcomes that I said I was going to measure. And so I hope that makes some sense. If it don't, I'll be happy to clarify it on a question board. Let me know, and I'll go over it again. The book does a pretty good job of explaining it to you. There's some really good websites out there. If you'll just Google the difference between measurement, if you'll Google the difference between assessment and evaluation, you'll get a little bit better understanding of it also. Okay, so that's all for now. I hope you enjoyed Chapter 7. Again, it's probably it's pretty close to being as important as Chapter 6. They're closely related, and I know that you saw some stuff from Chapter 7 that was also talked about in Chapter 6. So Chapter 6, Chapter 7, hugely important for application and practicum in the classroom. Okay, so adios. See you in Chapter 8.